You know who's playing really nice basketball right now that will never get the love because he's on a terrible team? Have you been watching Sadiq Bey recently? Coming out of Detroit. Your Detroit Pistons.
Hey, Sadiq Bey and the Detroit Pistons tonight had a beautiful win.
Bro.
They beat the Milwaukee Bucks.
34 and 8
now,
and 4.
Back-to-back 30-point games for him. Back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and quietly, Cade Cunningham is putting together, after a slow start, a real slow start. You know, he had an ankle injury, but he's putting together a really nice rookie campaign.
Yes, sir.
Very solid tonight. He had 19 or 20 points or so. Really solid, playing very well. And that was a big time win for them
those 7
in
assists,
Milwaukee.
Those 7 assists were big.
Yeah, no, he played. He's been playing really, really. You know, he's beginning to put it together. You know, he's putting 4 or 5 games together. And now I think in the second half of the season, I would really like for my Detroit Pistons to put him as I would like for them to start him as the leading point guard. I think he's ready now.
So no Killian Hayes.
Well, I whether he starts or not, I want the ball in his hands.
I feel you.
However they want to play it at the 2, but I want to put the ball in his hand full time because I think he plays better as a lead guard when he has the ball.
I'm gonna end this on this. The episode's almost running out of time, but speaking of Detroit, you guys have still got Jerami Grant, who's still out with a thumb injury. He's going to be back just before the trade deadline. And the Detroit Pistons have no need for him. He's going to be moved. The question is to who. The Lakers are interested. Do you know who I want to see make a move for Jerami Grant? Now, I haven't thought about the salaries and how that would work, but I want the Chicago Bulls to make a move for Jerami Grant. Now, I love Patrick Williams, and he's going to be a great...
Where's he going to play at?
Patrick Williams is going to be a great player in the future, okay? But you bring Jerami Grant into this Bulls team, you can play him at the 4, okay? And now, all of a sudden, you've got a guy that can guard those wing players that you're going to come up against. You got a guy that you're going to try and stick on the Kevin Durant's of the world, on the Jason Tatum's of the world. Gives you that defensively, offensively. You've seen him play many roles. In Detroit, he's been that number 1 guy. In Denver, he was just kind of a complimentary piece. He can really do it all. So I want to see the Bulls move for Jerami Grant. That's my trade deadline, what I want to see. Because if you're going to go all in now, let's go all in. Because that gives them a whole nother angle, a whole new look of, oh God, okay, these guys defensively now, really good. Because they've got elite defensive guards. But when you look at those wing positions, who's getting the stops there? Who's the great defender at the wing position right now? Who you throw it on the other players, the other team's best player? The same way Milwaukee pulled off that midseason trade for PJ Tucker last year and put PJ Tucker on Kevin Durant when they faced off. That's what I want to see from Chicago Bulls.
You know, I'm really fond of Jerami Grant. And what he did last year, he took a big leap. And I was very surprised about that signing. I didn't anticipate him signing in Detroit, but give him credit for taking that leap to Detroit. And not only taking that leap, he really showed up and showed out.
Mm-hmm.
He had a really nice year. Individually, I mean, the Pistons didn't do well as a team, but individually, he really put up big numbers. Now, Jerami Grant is what we would consider in this league a good player on a good team. He plays a winning style of basketball. And we give so much emphasis on shows and podcasts and when we talk about the NBA, about the offensive thing. But what he does really well is he defends. And he's a very versatile defender. I mean, he can really defend 1 through 4 at a very high level. He's long, he's athletic, very lively body. He's active, his activity level. I would like to see him go to a place like Atlanta.
I mean, they got John Collins though, the 4.
Yeah, but John Collins and Jerami Grant. That's live action.
Yeah, but
That's what I would call it.
You got Clint Capella in the front court. I don't know how the minutes are going to get round, but I'm seeing if you trade Patrick Williams and Derrick Jones Jr. to the Chicago Bulls, because Pat Williams is out. He's not going to help you this year. Pat Williams is out. Derrick Jones Jr. has been a little bit disappointing, and they brought him there to be that defensive guy. You trade them both for Jerami Grant. The Pistons get their young player in Pat Williams, who can develop really nicely next to Cade and Sadiq Bey and all of these guys. And the Bulls, then you look at a lineup of Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Jerami Grant, and Nikola Vucevic, with Caruso and these guys coming off the bench. I think that brings a whole nother edge to the Bulls.
Well, Mo, I'm just here to remind you of your slogan, secure the bag. There's not enough bags there to get all those players.
I've just run the salary. It works perfectly.
Jerami Grant is going to demand a deal.
He's got 2
Zach
years left.
LaVine. Yeah, but you're not going to have a player and trade for a player and lose a good young player who's on a rookie scale deal.
Yes.
You're not going to grab a player and then say, thank you, and let him walk.
Well, if it ends up in a championship, you will. Would you really let the threat of losing Pat Williams stop you from potentially winning a championship this year? You're looking like the best team in the Eastern Conference.
I don't believe that this team here, when they put this group together, thought that they were the best team in the Eastern Conference. They are the best team right now, but I don't think, Mo, that you believe they are the best team in the Eastern Conference. They have the best record. I don't
believe they're the best team in the Eastern Conference, but I believe if you add Jerami Grant to their lineup, they become a whole lot scarier looking at the playoffs.
Zach LaVine is going to demand
Max,
the big bag.
Yes.
Okay. You already have LaMelo. Lonzo. You already have Lonzo. Just signed. You have DeMar just signed. You have AC just signed. Vooch, he's got to be coming up when?
Vooch has got this year and next year.
Okay. So you don't want to let him go to unrestricted free agency. So you're probably going to, after this nice year, you're going to want to look to extend him. There's not enough bags there. Patrick Williams' salary is on a rookie scale deal. That's a good deal. It's a good deal for the Bulls, and it works. I think Jerami Grant, best deal is to go to a team where he can provide what he does best. The scoring was an added bonus. I thought it was an added bonus. Now, the Atlanta Hawks are going to trade Cam Reddish?
Maybe.
No, it's not maybe. They're going to trade him. They're going to get rid of Danilo Gallinari.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday.
Yes, they have to. So why wouldn't you, if you're the Pistons, which would work in your timeline, is to add players who can play in a rotation? If you had Cam Reddish and Cade Cunningham as your starting guards, that's a pretty good start.
Yeah.
Danilo Gallinari, Kelly Olynyk, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart. Now you're putting together players who can play in a rotation, in any rotation. Now, obviously, you need one of those players. They're going to have a high draft pick this year. You need one of those players to step up and be a star player, a la Evan Mobley. But if you're able to get 2 or 3 players for Jerami Grant, I think what more can you ask? But and the reason I say that is because look what it did to the Washington Wizards this year. You have to get serviceable players. They get, for Russell Westbrook, they get Kyle Kuzma, Caldwell Pope, and what's the center? What's his name?
Montrezl
Harrell. You have to get 2 or 3 players, because as you're continuing your path on rebuilding, which clearly the Pistons are doing, you want to add quality veterans who's going to allow you to continue on your path of winning and being competitive. So I think that would probably serve them best if they're going to move Jerami Grant.
Okay, well, you guys listening to this show, let us know. Tweet us. Where do you want to see Jerami Grant? Chicago, Atlanta? Have you got any ideas? Tweet us your trade suggestions for Jerami Grant. As always, hit us with your questions. We'll be answering them later this week. We'll be back tomorrow